Greetings, Quester, and welcome to the Quest Report with Matt and Richard.
And welcome to this special Quest Report, where rather than talking about a game, in a way we're talking about many games.
Yeah, well, it was a quest.
It's was indeed.
Normally our quests are in this room and like with little models and things, but this time we actually got in the car and went somewhere.
Yep, we braved the elements. We braved, the A42, and we went to Birmingham to the UK Games Expo.
Yay!
2018.
Yeah, it was great.
Now this was my third year at the expo. For yourself, is it 3 years you've been? Last couple of years you've been, haven't you?
Yeah, this is my second go at the expo. Yeah.
So wasn't our first time, so we kind of knew to some extent what to expect. But yeah, we went. It was from Friday, the 1st to Sunday, the 3rd of June, and it was an amazing 3 days.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was great. It was a bit bigger than last time, I thought. They used more halls of the NEC, but it seemed that way anyway. Like, used more for, like, stalls and stuff.
Yeah, because they had used Hall 1 and Hall 2 last year.
Mm-hmm.
But I think last year, Hall 2 was just open gaming.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
We were doing our own gaming at the hotel. So.
Yeah. Whereas I think this year, they had Hall 1 and 2, so you could go straight from 1 into 2. And they had stores and stuff in Hall 2 as well. Though
and
actually,
the Bring and Buy.
Yeah, and the Bring and Buy was there this year instead of Hall 1. But actually, I did think that it was probably less retail than it was last year's, actually.
Can't tell.
This year, it felt like there was more open spaces for games and tournaments and things.
I don't know. No, I felt like there was the same amount to me. Yeah.
It kind of felt to me like there were less stores as we were going around. There were less stores to look at.
Yeah, but it was the whole of Hall 1, just like there was last time, wasn't
Yeah.
there?
So so there was that. It was, I think, 21,700 was the amount of individual attendees.
Oh yeah, that guy was announcing it at the end.
Yeah, there was. I think they said something like 37,000 I could be wrong on that. Turnstile attendance, which incorporates sort of every time someone's been. But I think the amount of individual visitors over the 3 days was 21,700.
Oh,
so
was it?
That's
the amount of tickets.
Yeah, that was bigger attendance than the previous years.
Yeah,
so it's the biggest expo yet.
Nice.
So onto bigger and better. I did think that this year the Bring and Buy was less good than it was in previous years. There seemed to be less good deals to be had.
People kept saying that. I thought. I couldn't really tell the difference.
It was the first year I remember having to queue up that long inside the Bring and Buy to pay up.
Yeah,
there was a couple of times there were massive queues.
yeah. Because we were scheduled to be somewhere at like 12:30, and then it got to like 11:30. I thought I'm gonna have to start queuing up now because I had some games that I definitely wanted to buy, so I started queuing up, and it was a good 40 minutes that I was in the queue for.
Yeah, I mean we've still got some pretty great deals. I mean I got the Outlive Collector's Edition for £80. Which I was really happy with from the Bring and Buy. Mm-hmm. And Fire and Axe, I got that for £30. I think you got the best deal between us though, because you got the Crown and Glory expansion for Warrior Knights, didn't you?
I got the Warrior Knights
unpunched, £10.
I found the Warrior Knights. Yeah, the Warrior Knights expansion. So I kind of knew there was an expansion for Warrior Knights, and it's but it is one of my favourite games. It's not like I've been looking for that expansion, but
for a tenner.
Yeah, but I love it. I really love that game. So yeah. Definitely bought that. That was one of the reasons I had to line up right then because I didn't want to have to leave that behind. So
yeah, I got. I think for me, I got Shadows in Kyoto from the Bring and Buy as well. It was wrapped, and I only paid £15 for that, so that was a fantastic deal. So thank you to whoever sold that. I've not checked all the contents of my buys from there because obviously some of them secondhand. You need before you play them, you need to check the contents to make sure everything's in there, and you can't really do that inside the Bring and Buy. So
you have to having a game of it and see if there's anything missing.
Yeah, I'll check some of the contents, but yeah,
do that in the Bring and Buy.
I was quite happy with some of my purchases from there. Got a new expansion for Mansions. Which is the latest one as well.
You? Yeah, that was a surprise because you didn't know that was out yet.
Yeah, I thought that was coming out soon. I didn't realise it was out now.
Yeah,
but it was a really great 3 days. The live events this year were fantastic. Particularly, Richard and I got to go on 2 different days to the.
We played Knightmare
live,
and Treguard let us be Dungeoneers, which was
Yeah.
great. So yeah, he was asking for quest items. People were giving quest items, and he came out and said that he also needed Richard Lovell. So
Yeah.
that was a bit odd.
You
Yeah,
didn't say whether that was to play the game or as a quest item, though.
I just volunteered
Congratulations,
anyway.
you've opened a chest and found Richard Lovell.
I just stood up and went anyway.
Yeah.
And so if you don't know what that is, it was the show back in the 80s and 90s where it was people going on a quest, like kids going on a quest in a helmet that stops you from seeing. It's a helmet of justice, and because justice is blind, you can't see.
Yeah.
So your friends, well, it was advisors for us, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like these people that were kind of picked, we didn't know them. But they advised us what was around, how many steps to go forward, things like that. And it's pretty strange when you're in that helmet.
It really is, because you played it on the Friday and I went back and played it on the Saturday, and I had I think Ed and Tommy from Jolly Boat, the Jolly Boat guys, they were my advisors. So you're dependent on them to guide you around dangers and to help you overcome obstacles and figure out the answers to riddles.
That was really fun.
And it's really bizarre because you can't see anything. You're literally blind.
And you can't hear in a massive amount, can you?
No, everything's kind of muffled, so you can hear your advisors and you can kind of hear the audience, but everything's a little bit muffled. But I mean, there is no better feeling than walking out onto a stage and having hundreds of people respond to your question of where am I with.
Well, you're in a room.
You're in a room.
Yeah.
So that was a real fantastic experience, and it was kind of childhood dreams come true for both of us because we were both huge fans of it.
Yeah, I
back
used
in
to
the
watch
day
it all
when
the
we were
time. I
kids.
thought it'd be great to do, but I always kind of thought that if I did do it, because like some of them like just failed on the first room, and I was glad that neither of us like that. We can't really like tell you about it because you might go and see it, but we actually both got to the same room, and like Matt, I was been really annoyed if like Matt had like won the whole thing, but no, he died on the same room that I died on, like different way, but we still died in the same place.
The rooms were all kind of different to me and you, weren't they? The first room was similar. But then afterwards, it was like I had to answer a riddle and you had a different riddle.
Yeah,
I had to like pick an item, you had different items, and so on and so forth. And
we just responded in different ways as well, didn't we?
Yeah. So I mean, we can't really say anything because we can't share any video or anything from that event. Though we have shared some pictures on our Facebook page if you want to go and take a look at that. But yeah, if you ever get the chance to go to see Knightmare live, do it. Just do it. Even if you don't remember the show, if you've never seen the show, it's still hilariously fun.
Yeah.
Though, some of it will not make a lot of sense if you haven't, if you don't know anything about the show.
Yeah, but
at
they're
all.
upfront about that, and they say this is going to get weird.
And you know what? It did get weird.
It did get weird.
But yeah, if you like Dungeons, Dragons, Knights, anything like that, go into that.
Yeah.
It is quite different in tone from the show because the show was always very serious, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas the live show, because it's live, it is hilarious.
Yeah. It's basically it's a good like comedy show with audience participation and a lot of improv from the actors who were great. Because sometimes we would completely just throw them a bit. We didn't mean to, but sometimes things didn't go quite the way they thought they were going to go, and they just had to think on their feet, and they were brilliant at that. So. Yeah, it's a really good show. So if you ever get a chance, go and see it. We're going to go next year. Yeah. Hopefully, hopefully it will be there. And I'm quite looking forward to just being in the audience and watching it. We're going to have a few other people with us next time, so we might see if they can be Dungeoneers and we can just laugh when they die.
Heather would be a great Dungeoneer. But huge thanks to Paul Flannery and the Knightmare Live team for setting that up and for inviting us on to be Dungeoneers. And a big thanks to Jolly Boat as well for helping advise me through that stage of my life. So yeah,
that blind stage.
Blind stage where I had. It's good to know I'll have friends to call on if I ever go blind and I need to be advised through a dungeon. Yeah. So yeah, that was great. There were some other live shows I wanted to get to, but we didn't get a chance to get to any of those. So maybe next year we'll try a few more of the live shows. But yeah, I think if you're going to go and it's your first time to your UK Games Expo, try and plan to do at least one or two of the shows and just take in more of the event as an experience as opposed to just thinking, well, I'm going to go and I'm going to buy a ton of stuff.
I didn't think of it that way, but yeah.
No. Well, I think the natural reaction when you go there for a lot of people is that you're thinking, oh, I'm just going to go and I'm going to buy loads of cheap bargain games. And I think if you're doing that, you're going to miss out on the real experience of the Games Expo.
Look around, is it all?
Yeah, go look around. You can see different games being demoed. You can try some games. I mean, I was able to demo some games that I'd backed on Kickstarter, which is great fun because now I know when they come through, I know a little bit already about how to play them, and also I'm glad I've not been sold a turd.
Yeah. You know, so you're saying that you didn't go to buy these games because you'd already bought them?
Well, I bought a lot of games. I mean, I did buy some games there, and I did enjoy getting some bargains there. But don't just view it as a retail experience, because it's not. It's a chance to be with your friends. It's a chance to meet people that you don't usually see. It's a chance to talk to the designers. I mean, just think about that. You can go and talk to some of the people that have designed the games that you love.
Yeah, that can be a bit awkward. Because some of the designers like demoing games. I know that sometimes like they're demoing a game and it turns out to be rubbish. They're right there.
Oh, in the playtest area, yeah. I'm on about. You can get to meet like Martin Wallace was there signing stuff. Right. I didn't get a chance to meet him, but he's designed one of my favourite games, and he's got new games coming out all the time. So it would have been a great opportunity to meet him, and people like Ian Livingston were there, who wrote the fighting fantasy books that I've enjoyed for many, many years. So it's a chance to meet people and do a lot more than just a shopping experience, which is always fun. We did get to look at some games that quite interested me as well.
We're going to talk about U-Boot.
Yeah, U-Boot. So what were you going to say about U-Boot? Because that's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, because we kind of got that demoed for us, didn't we? But we didn't actually play it. But it seemed really interesting, and it's a simulator game where you are being the crew of a submarine.
Yeah.
And the places that we sat down, you were like in the captain's seat, weren't you? And you had all that stuff in front of you about being the captain, and I was the chief engineer. The other two things, there was the first officer, wasn't there?
Yeah, he's the one that in the game he interacts with the app and gives you the information for that.
And there was the navigator.
Yeah.
So each of you had like 4 people that were working for you, and you could put them in different places. So you had this submarine in the middle, and you had little miniatures representing the people. And
it's kind of like the like in Colt Express, you've got your like cardboard layout of the train. When this you had like a cardboard U-boat. With all your different areas on it, and you had little miniatures that you could move into different locations to do different things. And also on the mat in front of you, it had like the different symbols for each possible action you could take in the different rooms. So that, I mean, visually that looked fantastic, didn't it?
It did. Yeah, it looked very good.
It was the look of it that really drew me in.
Well, it's more the mechanics of it that I thought looked good. Like when they say you can give a certain amount of orders, so that if you were the captain, you could kind of order people to go to their posts.
Yeah.
In which case, you don't have to do. You have the opportunity to move your guys around. You so you can kind of get them ready and everything. And yeah, with the actions, like you said, the different symbols you had, and you had little tokens that you put out. But once that was done, they would become tired by that amount and then have to rest. So you could end up getting your people very tired. I mean, if they're doing a job that's not their specialty, they get more tired.
And you get bonuses obviously for assigning the right crew to the right tasks. One of the things that I liked as the mechanic, as Richard said, was as the captain, you issue a certain amount of orders, and once you go beyond a certain amount, your crew starts to become more and more tired and disgruntled.
It's about
effectively
like
you're working them to death, isn't it?
Get disgruntled tokens.
Yeah, so that looked fun.
When
I said it visually drew me in. I mean, I saw it on the table and I just thought, oh, that looks interesting. I want to go and look at that. And so I sat down, and it actually turned out to be a much different game to the one in my head that I initially thought. I think because of
you thought it was Colt Express, but in the water.
Yeah,
little bandits were going on the seabed.
Yeah, basically, I just thought, oh, that's an interesting sort of setup similar to Colt Express. So I want to go and find out what that's about. And actually, it was a lot more in depth and tactical than I thought it was going to be.
So you mentioned about the app. Yeah, and it's the first officer that has the app, and I think that's really cool because then he has to look at the app and then advise the captain of what's happening. Like tell the captain what's happening. Then the captain can give orders to the others. I think that's a really cool thing because like he's the more hands-on one, and the captain's the decision maker. So
and cool. I mean the guy showed us a little bit of how the app works as well, wasn't it? So like you can up periscope and you can do like a 360 rotation on the app to look around and see what's there, what's not going on the surface. So yeah, it seemed like everyone had some quite interesting things that they could do.
Yeah.
So that is definitely one that I want to be looking at when that's out.
Mm-hmm.
So another game that caught my interest was Nantinarking, which is, I mean, we've talked before about how much we like Ankh-Morpork by Martin Wallace.
Oh yeah, so
And
that's the same guy, isn't it? He was
it's the
telling
same
us about
guy,
that.
And there's Nantinarking, because when Sir Terry Pratchett sadly passed away, his estate decided not to renew the license for Ankh-Morpork, which is why it's been going for like 3 times its original selling value. Just because it's such an in-demand game and it's so rare. So what Martin Wallace has done is he's created basically the same game but set in the Victorian area with characters from like Dickens and the character like Oliver Twist and other characters.
I suppose you can't dodge it though.
Yeah.
If they're not renewing the license.
And he's taken like some real life characters, I think, as well, and put them into the mix. And I can't wait to see it, because Ankh-Morpork is one of my favourite games. I love Ankh-Morpork. I love the way the game plays, and I love the Discworld. I'm a huge Pratchett fan, so I'm looking forward to seeing if this game gives me the same feel that I get from Ankh-Morpork.
Yeah, should be nice. But we've still got Ankh-Morpork, haven't we? But it'll be interesting to play the London version and see what that's like. You and Heather are a bit too good at Ankh-Morpork, like when I play, because you two have played it a lot anyway. Like
we've
together,
played it two-player a fair few times. We've played it with other people before. Cause generally, everyone I play that game with has said to me that they've really loved it.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I just enjoy kind of like getting to have all the characters and the cards and everything, and build my own buildings in Ankh-Morpork and stuff. I don't consider me in the runnings when we play it.
Oh, well, that's I don't know how to respond to that, but yeah, it's. There was that was there. There was some other games that I quite like the look of. There was a new version of Hannibal out as well, which was...
Oh yeah, I kept seeing the signs for that.
Yeah, and that looked like it could be interesting, but I didn't have a chance to demo that. I had a look at Escape the Dark Castle.
Oh yeah.
As we wandered around.
That looked interesting.
Funnily enough, because Escape the Dark Castle had come back to Kickstarter on the Friday morning of the Expo, so because there was a new expansion for it out, and so I backed that when we were at the hotel before we set off for the expo, and because I backed for the expansion, I was able to get the base game and everything as part of the Kickstarter. So I was looking at it from the point of view of, is this a Kickstarter that I want? Do I want this game? And actually, I looked at it. But I still had time to cancel my pledge if it turned out to be a dud. So I was making sure, and I really did like the way the game looks. I think the art though is very Marmite. Did you get to look at that at all?
It's all black and white.
It's all black and white, and it's very stylistic as well. So I think if you like the style, then you'll probably love the game. But I think otherwise, I don't think the art's going to be a win with everyone. But I really like the way the game looks
pretty
to play.
dark, doesn't it? It's a dark castle. So.
Yeah. So there's that, and there's a Euro game I looked at as well. Called, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this remotely right. Gugong, something like that. The Forbidden City. It's a Chinese themed game, and it looks fantastic. It's a Euro game. That's definitely one to check out. That one's been on Kickstarter as well just recently. So there was a few other bits that I saw. They were the ones that really caught my eye. Was there anything else that you saw, Richard?
From games that we saw, there wasn't that many new ones. Just part of kind of what we did though. I don't know if we've done a quest report about Rebellion yet.
No, we haven't.
We played a great game of Rebellion the first night we were there, and it was the first time when I've played as the rebels, and it was just. We played with the little character cards as well. I think you are kind of meant to do that, but I haven't done that previously. But there was a lot of thinking the Empire were going to win and thinking the Rebels were going to win, and it was a very back and forth game. That was really good. So we have to talk about Rebellion sometime. We also played Chaos in the Old World, and that was a great game of that as well.
Raiders of the North Sea was another one.
Raiders of the North Sea. We played. It was really late when we played that, and I was really tired, but I did enjoy that game. So we'll have to talk about that one as well sometime. So yeah, we've got a bunch of games that we've played while we were there.
We can't go as well without talking about Legends Untold. Now, Legends Untold was a game that we demoed last year at the Expo.
We keep demoing that.
And we demoed it again this year at the Expo.
We did worse.
Yeah, I mean, I backed that on Kickstarter when I first saw it, and that was before we first demoed it last year.
Yeah.
So we played it again this year. We didn't do as well this year. I thought
The rolls were pretty bad.
yeah, some of the dice rolling was atrocious.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it has been updated, and I think it works better now than it did when we played it the first time.
Yeah, I really like that as a kind of minimalist kind of dungeon crawl game cooperative, which I mean, I love playing Gloomhaven, but obviously it's so high maintenance, that is, and this one is like the opposite. It's just a few cards and stuff. And
it's like deal a few cards out and you're done, really.
Yeah,
aren't you?
so I was really expecting that to be out
sooner,
but
yeah, I think that they did explain that there were some things that they weren't too happy with, so they spent a bit of time getting it right.
Yeah,
and
so
I'd rather they got
get
it
it
right
printed.
first time than rush it out. So
because we'd wail on it if it had loads of mistakes.
But no, we loved it. We really liked that one, so be sure to check that one out.
Yeah, that's great.
We picked up a few pretty cool accessories and as well. I went to because last year I bought some dice trays from one particular seller that was there. And this year I bought another dice tray, but some dice towers and things as well. So that was all.
We've got plenty of them now, so that's good. I got the realistic tokens for Scythe, and also I got a couple more Automa decks because I love playing Scythe with the Automa. But I've tried it with 2 Automa now, and got pretty complicated. But I'm going to try that again sometime. I like the idea of having a 5-player game with some humans and some Automa. Yeah.
Another thing that we did, which was really, really cool, was me and Richard went and posed to have our own miniatures made.
Yeah, and Ryan.
And Ryan, yeah. Inside the box, there was ITB was one of the people that had a stall at the Expo this year. We got the Subterra's collector's edition from them. But yeah, they gave us an opportunity for a mere £19, dear listener. A mere £19. We were able to go and pose for a 3D scan, so they're going to make a model of us. They had props there as well, so that we could like you could have a helmet on, or you could have a warhammer, a sword, or some other kind of equipment and tech and things like that. There was a shield as well. So it was ever so weird though, because you have to stand on this like rotating disc, don't you, while
for 3 minutes, yeah.
And
so
you have to hold any kind of pose that you do.
Yeah, so whatever stance you're going to do for your miniature, obviously you want to do something cool, but it's got to be something you can hold for 3 minutes while being spun around. Yeah. So I think we did spin around 3 times during that time, didn't we? And it captured our likenesses really well. We've looked on we got to see on the laptop afterwards what it looked like. Like for me, I held the shield and a mace, and the shield hadn't really picked up all that well.
No.
But they can just put that in later. They can just say, well, it's holding a shield. So we're going to get a few options of how we can like change our miniatures slightly, and then they'll send them to us. So I'm sure we will tell you about it, and I'll probably show you the miniatures when they arrive.
A picture on our social media when the miniatures come through. I think I had some armor on and a shield on my back and a warhammer. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to seeing how that comes out. And to be honest, since then I've been trying to lose weight. So I think if they're at the Expo next year, I am definitely going to want to go back and have a new mini made if I manage to get a load of weight off. So it'll be like, here's fat me, and here's current not quite as fat me. And
do one really ripped one.
I also think it would be great to have minis for different games.
Well, yeah, I think that's more what I would like to have the same mini for multiple games. I think that's a cool idea. Like, you have what it's meant to be, and then you just but it's me.
Yeah, but like you could have like a fancy mini. It'd be quite fun to have like some sort of sci-fi style themed mini as well.
They had a gun and some dynamite there, so I thought next time I'll do one that's particularly for mansions. Yeah,
it's like a noir style, maybe going in. It'd be great to be able to just go somewhere and have that done, because you could like take some props with you, and you could have a suit maybe for look like a guy from the Mansions era, like from the 1920s. That would be really great, because Mansions is a game that we love and play a lot. So you know, any game that you play a lot would be great to have a mini for that theme that you could just bring out to different games.
Channel your character.
So that's fun. But yeah, we had a tremendous time at the Expo. Really enjoyed the 3 days. If you've not been, I highly recommend it. I mean, there's some other really good cons as well, like HandyCon and AirCon, that are great for going and playing games. But the expo is great because of the people you get to meet there, I think, and you get to see just so many games being demoed. And I think there are games that I saw that if I hadn't seen them at the expo, I probably would have ended up going and bought them and regretted it. And then there are other games that I've seen that I wouldn't have been too sure with, but like U-Boot, sorry. But now we've seen it, I definitely want to go there. I want to get that game and I want to play it, and I want me and Richard to go and sink some enemy ships.
Yeah, simulate dying on a submarine.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, that was our expo experience. Did you get to the expo this year? If you have, please let us know in the comments what you thought about that. And before we go, we want to say one final big thank you to the many volunteers that bring the expo to life. Because while me and Richard are wandering around enjoying our Knightmare live shows and our demoing and everything, there are many volunteers that are working incredibly long hours, working tirelessly to make it actually happen. So they've given up of their time so that we can all have fun. So big thank you to that. And if you're in a position where you could consider volunteering for another year, be sure to take a look at the UK Games Expo website, because I'm sure they'd appreciate as much help as they can get. So thank you guys.
It's a good cause for us to have fun.
Stay meddlesome.
Farewell, Quester. To find out about other productions by the Meddlesome Meeples, then check out our channel or rendezvous with us at meddlesomemeeples.com. Until next time, Quester, farewell and keep thine axe sharp.